Welcome to one and all. I am Vasanta, Department of Computer Science, Gopalswamy PU College, Mysore. Today, we want to start with a new chapter, call it as pointers. The total weightage of this chapter is 4 marks on your annual exam. Out of 4 marks, 3 marks 1 question you will get, as well as 1 marks 1 question you will get. That is on part C 1 question, as well as in part A 1 question you will get in the annual exam. On this chapter, you will study regarding what do you mean by pointers, what are the advantages of pointers, the difference between static and dynamic memory allocations, the mainly importance of pointers, the difference between pointers, array, structure, all those things you will come to know on this chapter. Before starting the concept, pointers in general, what we used to say, we are pointing to something else. Is it no here? In the same way, pointer is a variable. It stores the memory address of another variable. It mainly stores the address of another variable. Pointer is a variable. It stores memory address of another variable. It is a variable. It is a variable that stores memory address of another variable. For 1 mark, they are going to ask, what do you mean by pointer? It's a variable. It stores the memory address of another variable. ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿಲಿ ಯಾವ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. Exactly on which place on the memory the data is present, which data type it is. Regarding that, you come to know on this pointer concept. When you come to pointers, while writing the syntax for pointers, first we used to write the data type, leave 1 space, then write down star operator, then pointer variable, then at the end semicolon. This is the syntax to represent pointer. Whereas in general variable as well as in pointer variable, in both the case, it's a variable only, but in pointers, it mainly stores the address, not the value. Whereas in general, what happens? It will store the values, whereas here, it stores exactly on which memory place the data is present. Regarding that, you will come to know on this pointer. While writing syntax, first data type, leave 1 space, star operator, pointer variable, at the end, semicolon. For example, I am to write int star A. See the syntax and example. In this case, the data type here we are written as integer. Then as usual we have left 1 space, then star operator, then pointer variable. Here the pointer variable we are given as A, and the data type is we are given as integer. How I come to know that it is a pointer variable? Before that variable, if you have star operator, then we used to say that it's a pointer variable. And it stores the address of another variable of type integer. ಹಾಗಂದ್ರೆ A ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆದರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಇಂಟಿಜರ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. It stores the address of another variable of type integer format. ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಯಾವ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. For example, if it is integer, then it takes 2 bytes of data. If it is integer, then it takes 2 bytes of data. If it is float format, then on that time it may going to take 4 bytes of data. The same thing I am going to write one more example, float star fptr. Then fptr is a pointer variable because before that variable we have star operator, and here this operator will store the address of another variable of type float format. ಆ ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಯಾವ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ ಅನ್ನು ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? float data type ಅನ್ನು represent ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Once if it is 4, then once if it is float, then it takes 4 bytes of data. 4 bytes of space it will going to occupy. For example, char star cptr. Then cptr is a pointer variable. How I come to know that it's a pointer variable? Before that variable we have star operator. From that I can identify it is a pointer variable. It stores the address of another variable of type character. Char annuvaga it takes 1 bytes of space, memory space. Now is it clear? Pointer is a variable, it stores the memory address of another variable. It not stores the actual value of that place, it will store the address of another variable where exactly the data is present. And if I want to represent the memory, how exactly in the memory it is organized? That is representation of memory. Representation of pointer memory, representation of memory in pointer. How exactly it can be represented? For example, we have a memory. Consider this is the memory. Each block is considered as 1 byte. For example, here I start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that it is continued. For example, if I am having 1 kilobytes of memory space, 1 kilobytes of memory space, then what is the total bytes here we have? That is 1024 bytes here we have. Then the first one is first byte, second byte, and the last one is 1023 because it starts from 0 and it ends with 1023 byte. It means that it is also possible to represent where exactly the data is present by using pointer concept. Here, if I know the concept of pointer, then easily I can manage the memory, is it no? Here, representation of memory means here it will store the data in array of bytes format. Array of byte format we used to represent. And each byte is called it as a basic storage unit in a computer system. Byte annuvaga now it is a basic storage unit in a computer system anta kuda heltivi. Then for example, if you have 1 kilobytes of memory space, then how it is divided? Each block can be called as byte. 10 kilobytes equals 1024 bytes, and the start from 0 and at the end we have 1023. ಅಂದರೆ 0 ಇಂದ ಶುರುವಾಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1024 ಬದಲಾಗಿ 1023 ಗೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ದ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್. And in this also we have few advantages as well as few disadvantages also. Now first we will discuss about the advantages of pointers. Advantages of pointers. This question they may ask for 3 marks also. Write the advantages of pointer or explain the advantages of pointer. Whereas memory representation they may ask for 1 marks, as well as the definition also carries 1 marks, because in the lab we have the pointer concept. In the practical, if you get this question, especially the pointer concept, then extra 100% they will ask the question, what do you mean by pointer? Pointer helps to store the memory address of another variable. Then what are the advantages on this pointer? Already I told you it is divided in the format of block format. Each block consider have bytes. Here if it is 0, 1, 2, 3 and that 1023. If you have 1 kilobytes of memory, 1 kilobytes of memory means 1023 bytes we have. This you already come to know by using the representation of memory in pointer concept. Then what are the advantages? Here, if I know the pointer concept, how much space I required for that program, which are the variable I required and how much space if I required. If I know that concept, then it helps to manage the memory, is it no? ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಖಾಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಟು deals with the memory, is it no? Main advantages, it helps to manage the memory, proper utilization of memory, proper utilization of memory is possible if I know the pointer concept. Memory can be utilized properly. It helps to write efficient program. It helps to write efficient program. If I know the pointer concept, which are the variables we have, which data type it is, how much space it will require, regarding that if I know, then it helps to write the efficient program. Memory ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಆ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೇಕಾ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ efficient program can be written. Helps to utilize the memory properly, and with that it helps to allocate dynamically and deallocate. Dynamically allocate and deallocate memory. Dynamically allocate and deallocate memory if I know the pointer concept. Then what do you mean by dynamic memory allocation as well as static memory allocation? Dynamic memory allocation is nothing but whenever I require the space, only on that time the memory will be allocated. Once I find no need of the same space, then I can delete the memory and the same space can be utilized by other variable. That is nothing but dynamic memory allocation. For example, now class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಬೆಂಚಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಜನ ಕೂತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್? ನೋ. ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋದರೆ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೆನ್ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಅದರ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್. If I know the pointer concept, then dynamically I can able to allocate the memory as well as deallocate the memory depending upon my requirement. If I know the pointer concept, memory allocation can be performed by using dynamically. Whereas in static memory allocation, the memory is fixed. Thus, memory cannot be used by other variable. Statically, ಒಂದು ಸಾರಿ ಆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಗಿಂತ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಆ ಸ್ಪೇಸು ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಡೈನಮಿಕ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಜಾಬ್ ದ ಮೆಮೊರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಅಲೋಕೇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೆನ್ ಬಿ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಅದರ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್. ಈಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಎಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡುವಾಗ ಆ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಅವ್ನ ಕೆಲಸ ಮುಗಿದು ಹೋದ ನಂತರ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಕೆನ್ ಬಿ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಅದರ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್. That is nothing but dynamic memory allocation. If I know the pointer concept, dynamically I can allocate and deallocate the memory space. And here it helps to deal with hardware components. It helps to deals with hardware components. It helps to deal with hardware components. If I know the pointer concept, it helps to deal with hardware component. Then what do you mean by hardware and software? Hardware means the physical component of the computer that we can touch and feel is called as hardware. Its set of programs that will perform specific task is called as software. ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲಿ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ನನ್ನ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್. So physical component of the computer that we can touch and feel is called as hardware. Then software ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈಗ ನಾನು ಹಾರ್ಡ್ವೇರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ಆದರೆ ನಾನು ಏನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಏನು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್. ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್ is called as software. If I know the pointer concept, then it helps to deals with hardware components of the system. And in this we have one more advantage. It helps to communicate between program and data. It helps to communicate between program and data. These are the few advantages on this pointer. First advantage, proper memory utilization. If I know the pointer concept, where exactly the data is present, whether the space is sufficient or not, if I know that concept, then it helps to deals with the memory. That is, we can proper utilization of memory is possible, helps to manage the memory. Then it helps to write efficient program. If I know the pointer concept, easily I can identify which program I want to write, whether whichever program I am writing, the space is sufficient or not, that also I can identify. That is, it helps to write efficient program. Dynamically allocate and deallocates the memory. Whenever I require memory, only on that time the memory will be allocated. Afterward, the same space can be utilized by other variable. That is nothing but dynamic allocation and deallocation is possible. It helps to deals with hardware components of the computer. It helps to deals with hardware components of the computer. With that, it helps to communicate between program and data. These are the few advantages. What do you mean by pointer? Pointer is a variable. It stores the memory address of another variable. Advantages: memory utilized properly, efficient program can be written, dynamic allocation and deallocation is performed, helps to deals with hardware components, as well as it helps to communicate between program and data. It is also possible to assign pointer variable. How to assign pointer variable, how to handle, how to initialize, that also you can able to perform on this pointer concept. That is regarding assigning pointer variable. For 1 marks, they may go to ask this question. Assign a pointer variable. How to assign a pointer variable? Already I told you, pointer is a variable, it stores the memory address of another variable. For example, I am to write int n equals 90. I am initializing for n 90. Andre n integer data type anta declare madidini. With that, for that n variable I assigned 90 is the value. Okay. Then I am creating one more pointer variable, int star ptr. In the next line, I am creating one pointer variable. How I come to know that it's a pointer variable? Before that variable, we have star operator. From that, I can identify it is a pointer variable. First, int n equals 90. I am initializing for n is 90. Now, ptr equals ampersand n. Then what do you mean by ampersand? What is the difference between star operator as well as ampersand operator? Whereas both will store address only. Illu kuda address anna store ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, illu kuda address anna store ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ಏನು ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್? ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ int star a. Then say the difference between these two. Here it stores address of another variable of type integer format. ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ದು ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ದು ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಯಾವ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಇಂಟಿಜರ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. Whereas ampersand b, if I want to write, then here also it will stores address only, but here it stores address of its own variable. ಇದರದೇ ಆದ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಬಿ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಮೆಮೊರಿಲಿ ಯಾವ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಏನ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ಆದರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಂಪರ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಇರುವಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್. ನೌ ಹಿಯರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅಸೈನಿಂಗ್ ದ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ n to a pointer variable. Like this, we can able to assign a pointer variable. See, in first case what I have done, int n equals 90. I am initializing for n is 90. Next, one more variable I am creating, that is pointer format, int star ptr. Now, it is a pointer variable. It stores address of another variable of type integer. ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಬೇರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಯಾವ ಡೇಟಾ ಟೈಪ್ ಇದೆ? ಇಂಟಿಜರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. Then later on, ptr equals ampersand n. The address of n we are initializing to pointer variable, that is assigning pointer variable. Now is it clear? From this, I can able to assign a pointer variable. Then what are the things on this class you come to know regarding pointer, advantages, the memory representation of a pointer, then how to assign or initialize a pointer variable. I am going to recall all the things. Pointer is a variable, it stores the memory address of another variable. ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಅದು ಮೆಮೊರಿ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. Then it helps to manage the memory. When you come on advantages, proper utilization of memory is possible. If I know the pointer concept, memory can be utilized properly. Helps to deal with hardware component. Efficient program can be written. Dynamic memory allocation as well as deallocation is possible. It helps to communicate between program and data. These are the few advantages. When they come on memory representation, it is in the format of array of bytes. Array of bytes format, whereas byte is nothing but it's a basic storage unit in a computer. When we come on assigning a pointer variable, we can assign a pointer variable by initializing some value for n. That is, here we initialize n equals 90. Then we are declaring one more pointer variable. We are defining pointer variable. Later on, the address of that variable is initialized to pointer variable. It is also possible to assign a pointer variable. Now is it clear? Next class we will meet with the remaining concept of the same chapter. Thank you for all of you.